pilot episode of the CHS Podcast, our new venture where we talk about different stories, different experiences, and different opportunities that we bring. I am your co-host Parvi, and this is my other co-host
Zaviyar.
And he's going to be talking about what the podcast actually is more.
So our main motive for this podcast was because there's a natural stereotype going around in our school. I mean, being a student here since 2011, I've noticed that teachers necessarily don't have a life outside school, but me and Parvi are here to disprove that theory. Our main goal is to showcase a side of teachers where we would not have expected. For example, we might know that one teacher likes to play video games. But it is what it is, so we'll see.
Audio Jungle.
Let's get moving with our first guest. Someone who has become a very popular character in our school over a very short period of time. Mr. Chris himself. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. And you guys?
Doing great, alhamdulillah.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. So, we want to ask you. Obviously, you've been a teacher at the school for a very, very short period of time. But I feel like you've had enough experience to give an overview of how your experience has been so far in CHS.
Fantastic. Everyone is very welcoming. Students are really hardworking, which is a step up from a lot of other schools I've seen, even in South Africa. Very hardworking, very dedicated, and goal-driven. Like, it seems like everyone has a goal that they're working towards, and it's refreshing to see this in the UAE.
Wow.
So I'm really excited to start my teaching career here, and looking forward to getting to know you guys as well.
That's amazing. So you told us that you came from South Africa. Can you tell us about your journey from South Africa to UAE? How has it been? What all did you
apart from all the documentation and the Emirates ID and all that, it was fairly easy, but you just have to make a decision, trying something new, trying something exciting. And I mean, coming to the UAE is completely different to South Africa, especially considering cultural differences, language barriers as well. And it's actually not my first time working overseas. I worked in China as well.
Oh, wow.
Just before COVID.
Just
before COVID.
Just missed it.
So I basically knew about COVID before it was cool. So that was quite interesting. But really enjoying the UAE at the moment, getting settled in nicely. So and obviously the school where you work makes a big difference
on how
happy you are in this country. Yeah.
No, I think what you said right there about where you work is something that's very important, because that sets up your day. Because you're spending most of your time at work, so if you're able to have a positive experience at work, it's going to benefit you throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on,
you did mention that you had like some set of cultural differences. Like, what were they like?
So I think the main food is a big thing.
Oh yes, South African food is amazing.
Yeah, and just basic things, the weather also. Not cultural, but again, it plays an impact.
Right.
It's a lot of people are scared to come to the UAE because of this reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the heat is too much, but you adapt to it. I mean, we have ACs and all that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, cultural differences maybe not that much, because in South Africa, because we have such a diverse culture in South Africa, I mean, 9 different official languages and everything.
Yeah.
We're quite used to. South Africans are very adaptable to situations. So for me, coming here, and I guess for a lot of other South Africans, it's quite good. I think positively, it's amazing, especially the safety. It's very safe in the UAE. It's one of the main reasons a lot of South Africans come to the UAE. Because it's so safe.
Yeah, and actually CHS has had quite a history of South African teachers. We have plenty in the school right now, and we used to have previously as well. Moving on, I just wanted to ask you, because seeing you right now, you have an absolutely incredible physique. So I just want to ask you, how hard is it to get a physique like that? Because wow, it is amazing.
Well, I've started training when I was in year 8.
Whoa, that's a
So
long time.
it's a long time ago, and it was actually like it's thanks to a bully. Funny enough, I used to be fat, my body, so I was like, you know what, this is motivation, and you get bullied quite a lot because of that, and I didn't take it. I took it in a positive way, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah.
And been training ever since. So it's just about, if you have a goal that you're working towards, and you want to change your life and live healthier, it's motivation at the end of the day.
And I think that's something that I struggle with as well, because I've obviously been trying to lose some weight, but stopping the junk food, stopping that McDonald's when it's right around the corner, something Zinger Parota. So it's very hard to stop that. And I think that's where it has to click, where you have to understand. Yeah.
Just focus on your goals and work towards that. It's not about. And Instagram, social media is a very big problem when it comes to the fitness industry, because what you see on social media, if you look at C-Bum, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, all these things is those, especially boys, get the misconception of if you train hard, if you do this and that, you're going to look like that. If you don't do it as a full-time job, it's impossible. You cannot work a full-time job and look like that. Most of those guys do it as a job. So that's one thing I can say. Don't compare yourself to people on social media, and that's with everything.
Everything, honestly.
Especially Dubai, especially
you
can rent a car and
sure.
get rich for one day, but in reality, it's not that.
For sure, yeah.
You did mention you started training from like year 8. So like, did you start training because you played any sports like when you were like?
I played hockey. Funny enough, everyone thinks rugby.
Oh, yeah.
I played hockey. I was hockey. But I played the goalkeeper, so I did all sorts of sports. So when you're a goalkeeper in hockey, you feel hockey.
Geared up,
you do MMA, you do football, you do rugby, you do cricket, you do everything in one.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. And I used to play all the way. I think about 3 years ago I stopped playing. And it's difficult in the UAE because there's not a hockey culture here.
Right.
It's more cricket,
Football,
but great sport, and I really enjoyed it.
Agreed.
That's quite recent for leaving it just 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's
COVID
you have to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a good
definitely.
thing. So like on that, like what are your hobbies? Like was it like hockey?
So my hobbies are, at the moment, I do a lot of gaming.
What games?
So I'm running the esports club at the school.
No way.
We've got an esports club now.
Wow, okay, that's something I want to
That's
start.
something you guys can like check out.
Definitely. So I play games. I do a lot of reading as well. I'm a big Warhammer fan. And also going to the gym, and then just fishing, snorkeling, scuba diving.
Oh wow!
All those things. So off-roading when I have the time.
I think it's fair to say that you're more of an outdoor person than an indoor person.
Yeah, definitely. But I do enjoy some indoor activities as well. So,
that cold rainy day and you're just playing some COD.
If it rains.
It's not gonna rain here as much as it did in South Africa.
Exactly.
Obviously, there has been a stereotype going around when it comes to you, because you have an absolutely identical appearance with Henry Cavill, and I think that's pretty flattering. I take it personally. Well, what do you have to say about that?
It's usually when I walk into a new school or a teaching environment, or just in public in general. And when I was in China, I had kids come up to me, Superman. And it happens a lot, and I'll take it as a compliment, And it's not just at the school.
Oh, really?
It's not just at the school.
It doesn't just happen. It's just everywhere you go.
So you're quite used to this now, being like called the term Superman.
I was out the other night, and people were like, we have the generic version of Henry Cavill. It's like a discount version. He's sitting right there, and I'm sitting down like,
Have you actually ever been mistaken as Henry Cavill?
In China, probably.
I
don't think. Maybe, not that I know.
Not that I know.
Like not somebody approached you or something.
Probably, probably.
But you're commonly, like, not even in school, like everywhere you're commonly known as.
You just take it now. It's
like,
sure.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. You are such a cool personality, so you must have such cool bucket list ideas. Like, what are some cool bucket list ideas?
Gotta think about it.
One was already achieved when I survived COVID. I mean, I think that was everyone's bucket list
at
that stage. So probably starting a few businesces. That's one bucket list thing.
What type of business?
Miss Anu's all of a sudden, just become interested in the background.
And maybe like app development and IT stuff, because that's where the money is.
For sure.
And maybe I would say travel to more countries, especially like Australia, New Zealand. Do a lot of off-roading in South Africa. It's not a lot of bucket list things that I haven't done.
He's already achieved it.
So Yeah, it all depends on, like, a bucket list changes from year to year.
Yeah.
I mean, people
Fluidity,
keep saying like bucket list,
Yeah.
but it changes as you grow, or as you change, or as the world changes around you. It changes what you want to do. I mean, no one's bucket list 20 years ago was to own 100 bitcoins.
Yeah.
That's
for
someone's
sure.
bucket list now, I promise you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It depends.
It changes every single day.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a great insight, because it's something that people have this narrative that, oh, I need to finish my bucket list, otherwise, my life will almost feel incomplete. But it's a lot more fluidity than people think. As you grow, things tend to change. So
Definitely.
people are not that excited when it comes to change, and I think people need to adapt to that mindset a lot more.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think I always wanted to ask you, what got you into the idea of teaching?
Yeah.
I mean, what really involved you into this
So
career?
when I was at school, I took history from year 9, year 10. And so history was always my passion. History, politics, because it's basically the same thing.
Right.
And I had a very good history teacher, old guy, but like old school,
proper,
like
like
1970s,
1970 mindset going on.
Legend.
Oh, legend.
A legend. And he was a very good inspiration to me in regards to how he integrated history with real life. So history is not something that is dead in the past and it doesn't have an impact on us today. I mean, if we look at the wars that we have today, Ukraine, Palestine, all these wars that we see today are just a repetition of a recipe that have been followed since ancient times.
Right.
So it's the exact same recipe, just different ingredients being used. And that's what got me into history, explaining this narrative to students and making them understand that history is not something that you study and you leave in the book, but you can apply it in your everyday life. I mean, just turning on the news, you can see history in action. And having that approach and making that approach to history made me enjoy the subject a lot more. And then because of that, I'm like, okay, well, I can teach this as well. It's not that hard. So teaching history for me is not a job. It's a hobby and a passion.
Right.
So especially teaching at the school where students just
want to learn
this. There's a hunger for how do I use history? How do I use the information that I learn at school and apply it at home? Because a lot of people, a lot of students they get the knowledge from school, but there's no application of it,
Right.
or they don't know how to apply it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny how you mentioned that, because usually when history is mentioned, it's mentioned as like it's associated with boring. It's like always given the term, oh my god, history, oh, the boring subject. So you bringing that perspective allows different students to understand there's a different side to history as well, and you having a passion for that, allowing all the students who are watching this that history is not just a boring subject.
It's an ever-changing cycle, and it's also it doesn't stop. What we're doing now is part of history.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's in the past.
Including all the wars going on right now.
Exactly, and understanding history is
because of recent events.
Yeah, understanding history is a key to unlocking the future. That's basically what it's about.
One quote that my granddad always used to tell me was, the best way to move forward is to learn from your past. So we can definitely take experiences from the past and learn to move forward. So I think that was a great quote that my granddad used to say. Moving on to a more comedic side, I wanted to ask you, let's say, for example, you get deserted on an island. Okay. You can only bring one thing with you.
One thing.
What would be that one thing? Me personally, I'd take my PlayStation, but what would it be for you?
You think about this. Every time.
I would probably take my...
This is an interesting question.
This is a hard one. Sri's like thinking about this right now.
If I can have depends on how big they are. I would have like the Swiss Army survival knives.
Wow, that's an amazing answer.
Big Swiss Army survival knives with everything in it, so at least you can, with
survive.
a flint and a knife and a whistle and everything. That's what I would take with me. So
it's funny how none of you mentioned food and water, which is basically survival, but
that's not one thing though.
Food and water are considered in one thing.
Okay, I'll give it.
So I would take
it's
one of
funny
those
none
big,
of you mentioned that, but it's fine.
Those big Swiss knives, the survival knives.
Yeah, you thought about killing people first before.
Just eating.
Eating.
Hunting. Yeah.
That's right. So before we end off, can you tell us a message that you believe in or a quote that you would like to share with our audience today? Like something that you want to just talk to the audience about, or a quote you especially believe in?
I would say if you want something bad enough, you would work to achieve it.
Yeah.
That's my key thing. If you want something bad enough, you would do anything to achieve that goal, and do anything to achieve that goal. So just focus on a goal and work towards that regardless of what. I mean, excuses are for people that don't want to achieve that goal. Excuses are for weak people. So single-minded, strong-minded, work on achieving your goal regardless of what life throws at you. And that's it for us. You'll be fine.
That's very true. Like people will have that mindset if they want to work towards something.
Do you have any personal goals, or maybe even towards a professional field, where you, let's say, in 5 years, I want to accomplish this in life? Like, what would that be for you?
So in 5 years' time, I would obviously still like to be at the school, and maybe work towards achieving a few more qualifications. Because I do a lot of courses and stuff online, do a lot of my studies and stuff online. So more specialization in history and economics and business and all that. So it's just to combine all these achievements together, and again, it makes you a better teacher if you know a lot more of certain topics.
To share with your students.
To combine with the knowledge that you're using in class. Yeah.
Wow, that's honestly a really good statement. I mean, I think I've been obviously talking to you for a short period of time, but I can tell that you're someone who likes to keep himself busy. You're not someone who has that lazy day in the week. You're someone who is always, come on, let's go, let's do something. Always making the plans, always organizing. So
you totally see the extroverted person in your group, like your friend group.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, probably.
Would you say your friends would say the same thing?
Probably, yes.
Probably?
Yeah, probably.
Like they call you the extroverted guy of the group.
Just call him if you want a good time.
Probably.
That's really, because you're a new teacher, so no one ever knew you had this sides.
No, usually I have this. The face I keep in public is like.
I mean, honestly, I was rather intimidated. I was
intimidated. But it's actually I have a soft and cuddly side on the inside. That's pretty much what.
No one would have ever guessed that you had like so many hobbies, so many cool passions, and like what not more.
The more you know.
The more you know. I mean, I guess it's been a great conversation with you. Definitely, it's been amazing having you. Honestly, been a pleasant experience because we were very nervous as this is our first episode, but this has been amazing. You've been an amazing guest.
This is a good pilot episode.
Very good pilot episode to start it off with. Brilliant.
Our guest has been amazing, so what could we ask for more?
Parvi, if you want to talk about what we're going to do in the future.
So our future plans consist of bringing different people from different specialized areas. So this could be bringing parents of students or bring other people of different specializations to understand, for like students who are kind of confused on what like career path to go towards to. So this will give them more insight on what the job is, what to do, and just allow students to get a better idea of what that career option could look like.
Well, I mean, to end it off, I think it's been a great episode. And if you have any feedback towards me and Parvi, suggestions, make sure to DM one of me and Parvi on Instagram. So I guess this is it for the first episode. Everyone, please take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.
We hope you liked it. Bye-bye. And this is your co-host, Parvi and Zaviyar, signing out.
Main host.